If you're referring to Golden Age Hollywood celebrities who were born male but later lived as women, transgender women, it's important to note that gender identity was rarely discussed publicly in Hollywood's Golden Age, roughly the 1920s through the early 1960s. Because of societal pressures and lack of acceptance, very few public figures openly transitioned or discussed gender identity at the time. However, some individuals from that era have later been discussed in historical and gender studies contexts. Here are a few people worth mentioning, though the celebrity label may vary depending on how widely known they were. Christine Jorgensson, 1926 to 1989, was one of the first Americans to gain international fame as a transgender woman. Born George William Jorgensson Jr. in the Bronx, New York, she served in the U.S. Army during World War II. In the early 1950s, she traveled to Denmark to undergo what was then known as sex reassignment surgery. When news of her transition broke in 1952, it made headlines around the world, instantly making her a celebrity. Though not a traditional Hollywood actress, Jorgensson became a prominent figure in American pop culture. She used her fame to build a career in entertainment, appearing in nightclubs and on television, where she shared her story and performed as a singer and actress. Her public presence helped bring transgender issues into mainstream awareness during a time of significant social conservatism. Christine Jorgensson's openness was groundbreaking. While she faced discrimination and curiosity, she also received admiration for her courage and composure. She paved the way for greater visibility of transgender people in media, long before society was ready to fully embrace gender diversity. Her story remains a landmark moment in the history of LGBTQ representation in entertainment. Coxinel, 1931 to 2006, born Jacques-Charles de Fresnoy in Paris, was a pioneering French transgender actress and singer who gained international fame in the 1950s. She became one of the first widely known transgender women in European entertainment and was instrumental in bringing transgender visibility to the public eye during a time when the topic was largely taboo. In 1958, she underwent gender confirmation surgery in Casablanca, Morocco, an event that received global media attention and marked a major turning point in her life and career. Coxinel rose to fame performing at Le Carrousel de Paris, a popular cabaret known for its drag and trans performers. Her charm, beauty, and talent quickly made her a sensation. She went on to appear in films and theatrical productions, as well as perform internationally. Her celebrity status helped challenge societal norms and inspired many within the LGBTQ community. Beyond her entertainment career, Coxinel was an advocate for transgender rights and visibility. She later founded Devenir Femme, an organization supporting trans women. Her legacy remains significant not only for her contributions to entertainment but also for her courage and impact as one of the first transgender women to live openly and proudly on the world stage. Jackie Shane, 1940 to 2019, was a groundbreaking soul singer and one of the few black transgender women to achieve fame in the 1960s music scene. Born in Nashville, Tennessee, Shane grew up surrounded by gospel and R&B influences. She moved to Canada in the early 1960s, where she found greater freedom to express her identity. In Toronto, she became a celebrated performer, known for her powerful voice, charismatic stage presence, and gender-defying style. Her most famous recording, a live version of Any Other Way, became a regional hit in 1963. The song's lyrics, "Tell her that I'm happy, tell her that I'm gay," took on a deeper meaning coming from Shane, who lived openly as a trans woman at a time when doing so was extraordinarily rare and risky. While she avoided the mainstream U.S. spotlight, she maintained a devoted following in Canada. Jackie Shane disappeared from public life in the 1970s, living privately for decades. She was rediscovered in the 2010s when her music was reissued, sparking renewed interest in her life and contributions. Shane's legacy is not only her soulful voice, but also her courage in living authentically, paving the way for future generations of LGBTQ performers. Levvenia Edwards, circa 1809 to 1833, was an Irish actress in the early 19th century who gained recognition for her performances in tragic theatrical roles. Known by several names, including Eliza Edwards and Miss Wallstein, she captivated audiences with her talent and striking, androgynous appearance. Though she lived and was accepted as a woman, it was only after her death at age 24 that it was publicly revealed she had been assigned male at birth. Edwards' story is a rare but powerful early example of gender nonconformity in the performing arts. Despite the rigid social norms of the era, she managed to build a successful career while living authentically in her gender identity, at least within the theater world. Her life challenges the assumption that transgender and gender nonconforming individuals are only a modern phenomenon, highlighting a longer and often hidden history of trans existence in entertainment and society. Robera Cowell, 1918 to 2011, was a pioneering British figure known for being the first known British trans woman to undergo gender confirmation surgery. Born Robert Marshall Cowell in Croydon, England, she lived an extraordinary life even before her transition, serving as a fighter pilot during World War II and later becoming a competitive racing driver. In 1951, Cowell underwent gender-affirming surgery, a groundbreaking decision at the time, especially in conservative post-war Britain. Her story became public in 1954 when she published her autobiography, Robera Cowell's Story, which detailed her transition and personal journey. Despite not being a part of Hollywood's golden age, Cowell gained significant media attention and is often compared to Christine Jorgensson, her American contemporary. Both women helped bring visibility to transgender identities at a time when public understanding was extremely limited. Robera Cowell's courage to live openly and authentically broke social barriers and laid important groundwork for future transgender visibility, especially in the UK. Her life remains a powerful chapter in the broader history of gender diversity in the 20th century. Billy Typton, 1914 to 1989, was an American jazz musician and bandleader whose life story sparked significant public attention after his death. Born Dorothy Lucille Typton in Oklahoma City, he adopted a male identity in the 1930s in order to pursue a career in the male-dominated world of jazz music. Typton lived his entire adult life as a man, both professionally and personally, and was known for his talent on the piano and saxophone. He led the Billy Typton Trio, released several records, and was a well-respected figure in regional jazz circles. What made Typton's story so remarkable was the posthumous revelation that he had been assigned female at birth, something even his longtime partner and adopted children did not know. This revelation triggered widespread media coverage and debates about gender, identity, and privacy in the early 1990s, although Typton never publicly identified as transgender, a term that wasn't widely used during his lifetime. His story is often included in discussions about transgender history. His life challenges traditional assumptions about gender roles and highlights the lengths to which individuals have gone to live authentically in a society that offered little support or acceptance for gender diversity. Dors Gamalama, 1963 to 2022, was a renowned Indonesian singer, actress, comedian, and talk show host, widely recognized as one of the most prominent transgender entertainers in Southeast Asia. Born Dedi Yuliardi Ashadi in West Sumatra, she began her career in the entertainment industry during the 1980s. After transitioning and adopting the name Dors Gamalama, she gained immense popularity for her versatility and charismatic presence in music, film, and television. Dors became a household name in Indonesia, especially as the host of the widely watched talk show The Dors Show. Her openness about her identity was groundbreaking in a conservative, predominantly Muslim country, making her a rare figure of transgender visibility in mainstream media in the region. She also released music albums and appeared in numerous comedy films. In addition to her entertainment career, Dors was involved in philanthropy and religious activities, often blending humor, warmth, and sincerity in public appearances. Despite facing criticism and discrimination, she remained a beloved public figure. Her life and career continue to inspire many in Indonesia and beyond, representing courage and resilience in the face of cultural and societal challenges around gender identity. April Ashley, 1935 to 2021, was a British model, actress, and one of the first people in the UK to undergo gender confirmation surgery, making her a pioneering figure in transgender history. Born George Jameson in Liverpool, she joined the Merchant Navy at a young age and later moved to Paris, where she performed in the famous nightclub Le Carrousel alongside other trans women. In 1960, she underwent surgery in Morocco and returned to the UK as April Ashley, April quickly found success as a fashion model, appearing in Vogue and working with notable photographers. She also secured minor film roles, including in The Road to Hong Kong, 1962. However, her rising career was abruptly halted in 1961 when a British tabloid outed her as transgender, leading to widespread media attention and discrimination. Despite the setback, she continued to be a public figure and eventually became an outspoken advocate for transgender rights. In recognition of her contributions, Ashley was appointed member of the Order of the British Empire, MBE, in 2012. Her bravery and visibility helped challenge stigma and paved the way for future generations of trans individuals in both entertainment and public life. Marsha P. Johnson, 1945 to 1992, was a pioneering black transgender activist, performer, and a central figure in the early LGBTQ rights movement in the United States. Born Malcolm Michaels Jr. in New Jersey, she moved to New York City after high school, where she adopted the name Marsha, pay it no mind, Johnson, a phrase she used to respond to questions about her gender. Marsha became a well-known and beloved figure in Greenwich Village, both for her vibrant personality and her advocacy. As a drag performer with the theater troupe Hot Peaches and a regular presence in the New York queer art scene, she brought joy and radical visibility to marginalized communities. Johnson played a pivotal role in the 1969 Stonewall Uprising, a landmark event in LGBTQ history, and later co-founded the Street Transvestite Action Revolutionaries, STAR, with fellow activist Sylvia Rivera to support homeless trans youth. Though often living in poverty and facing systemic violence, Marsha remained a fierce and compassionate advocate until her mysterious death in 1992. Her legacy lives on as a symbol of resistance, and she is remembered as one of the most influential transgender figures in the fight for LGBTQ liberation. Sylvia Rivera, 1951 to 2002, was a pioneering Latina transgender activist and trailblazer in the LGBTQ rights movement. Born in New York City of Puerto Rican and Venezuelan descent, Sylvia experienced a difficult childhood marked by homelessness and discrimination. She began living on the streets at a young age and found community among other queer and trans youth in Manhattan. Rivera became a prominent voice during the 1969 Stonewall Uprising, which marked a turning point in the gay liberation movement. Alongside her close friend Marsha P. Johnson, she co-founded the Street Transvestite Action Revolutionaries, STAR, an organization dedicated to helping homeless trans youth and fighting for the inclusion of transgender people in broader LGBTQ advocacy. Despite her major contributions, Sylvia often faced marginalization, even within LGBTQ spaces, which motivated her lifelong commitment to making the movement more inclusive. She spoke out passionately against the exclusion of transgender people from gay rights legislation and demanded recognition for trans individual struggles. Rivera also participated in underground theater and activism throughout her life. She remains a powerful symbol of resistance, intersectionality, and grassroots activism. Today, Sylvia Rivera is honored as a foundational figure in transgender and queer history whose legacy continues to inspire future generations. Candy Darling, 1944 to 1974, was a pioneering trans actress and one of the most famous figures in the underground New York City scene of the 1960s and early 1970s. Born James Lawrence Slattery, Candy transitioned in her late teens and quickly became a muse and star within Andy Warhol's avant-garde circle, known as the Factory. Her ethereal beauty, captivating presence, and unapologetic femininity made her a standout in Warhol's world. Candy appeared in several of Warhol's films, including Flesh, 1968, and Women in Revolt, 1971, gaining recognition for her compelling performances. Her persona and appearances helped challenge the boundaries of gender and sexual identity in mainstream cinema, paving the way for future trans visibility in media. Although her acting career was brief, her impact on queer and trans representation in the arts was profound. Her life was tragically cut short at the age of 29, when she died of leukemia. Despite her short life, Candy Darling became an iconic figure in queer culture, influencing countless artists, performers, and activists. She remains a symbol of trans beauty, resilience, and creative spirit. Jane County, born in 1947, is widely regarded as the first openly transgender rock musician, making a significant impact in the punk rock scene during the 1970s. Born Wayne Rogers in Dallas, Texas, she began her career as a musician and performer in the early days of the avant-garde, glam, and punk movements. County's bold stage persona and unapologetic embrace of her transgender identity made her a trailblazer in the male-dominated music industry. In 1972, she became a part of the iconic glam rock scene in New York City, performing at legendary venues like Max's Kansas City and CBGB. She later went on to form her own punk rock band, The Electric Chairs, and released music that explored themes of gender, rebellion, and freedom. Her debut album, Jane County and the Electric Chairs, was a groundbreaking moment in punk rock, blending gritty sound with themes of sexuality and gender identity. County's influence extended beyond music, as she also became a symbol of defiance and liberation for trans and gender nonconforming individuals. Her boldness in the face of societal stigma and her contributions to the punk and trans communities continue to inspire generations of artists and activists today. Bambi, Marie-Pierre Provet, born in 1935, is a pioneering French transgender showgirl, actress, and writer who made significant contributions to both the entertainment and academic worlds. Born in the Parisian suburbs, Bambi transitioned in the early 1950s, an era when trans individuals were still largely invisible in mainstream society. She went on to perform at the legendary Le Carrousel in Paris, a famous cabaret known for its drag performances and trans-inclusive acts. As a star at Le Carrousel, Bambi became a fixture in the vibrant Parisian nightlife, captivating audiences with her grace and charm. In addition to her career in entertainment, Bambi was also a literature professor, teaching French literature at a university. She became a rare and important voice in trans history, using her platform to write about her experiences. In her memoir, Bambi, Mon combat pour être moi, she reflected on her transition and her journey within the entertainment industry, offering insights into the challenges faced by transgender people in the mid-20th century. Her courage and achievements in both the arts and academia make her a key figure in the history of transgender representation and activism.